Hey guys, this is CJ from Bibles on a Budget, and today we are taking a look at the ESV Diadem from Cambridge. So yes, this is one of the most well-known, interesting releases from Cambridge. If you are familiar with the Bible world at all, Cambridge recently released this Bible in the ESV. And this is a step up, I guess, or a size increase from their smaller, more portable Bible, the Pitt Minion. So, of course, this is the ESV version. This is what Cambridge first put out. I believe they're going to put out different other versions for the Diadem, but right now they're doing the ESV. So, without further ado, let's take a look around this. So, this is a dust jacket. This is not the actual Bible, but we're going to take a look at the dust jacket here. So again, Holy Bible, it's got this super cool design. So what you're seeing here is the crown of thorns. So a diadem is a crown. So what you're seeing here is a crown of thorns. On the one with the Apocrypha, or the Deuterocanonical books, this is the Protestant canon. So the one with the Catholic canon has this plus Jesus, plus a picture of Jesus. So this is kind of a, I guess, I don't know why they did it this way, but it looks super cool. It looks super cool. On the side here, so on the spine of the dust jacket, it says Holy Bible ESV Reference Edition. So this is a reference edition. And then down here, Cambridge. And as you can see, it comes with one blue ribbon because this is the blue Bible. And then here's the back. So these Bibles don't come with boxes, just to let you know. So they don't come with boxes. So they come with this dust jacket and are wrapped in plastic. So here we go. It has diadem and the tagline, the unfading crown. And then here is some information about the ESV and such. And then here are the features, which is a black letter, word for word, literal translation, which the ESV is. Elegant literary style, section headings, inclusive language when text allows, based predominantly on the Masoretic text, that's in the Old Testament, and then a multi-denominational team, translation team. And then here's an example of what it's going to look like on the inside. And then here's a little information about the Diadem Reference Edition if you want to check that out, and go ahead and pause. And then here's the barcode, and then some information to get to Cambridge's website. All right, so we looked at the dust jacket. Let's get the dust jacket off and let us take a look at the Bible itself. So, if you're unfamiliar with this Bible, again, if you're not familiar with the Bible world, you may think, man, that looks a lot like a pew Bible. And it does. It does look a lot like a pew Bible. But this isn't. This is not a pew Bible. This is actually a hardback. This is just a regular old hardback, right? But it looks like a pew Bible. So what's cool about this one, though, I love the blue color. I love the classic Holy Bible on the front. But if you can see that there, maybe a little hard to see. Let me try to get it in the middle. But you might be able to see this little etching of a diadem, or that crown of thorns there. And then again, here's the spine, similar to the dust jacket, Holy Bible, ESV, Diadem, Reference, and then Cambridge. And then they also have like these tooled little lines here. Obviously, hardback doesn't have hubs and such. Looking around the top here, because it's a hardback, most hardbacks do not have gilding. Most of the ones with fake leather or actual leather have gilding. This will be released in real leather. So I think it actually has already at the time of this. But if you want to see a little bit more about what's coming, you can kind of look at the inside of the dust jacket here. So there's other editions. Sorry about that. Let me pull that up here. So you got other editions of it coming in spring 2022, which at the time of this video, it is spring 2022. So you see there's black calf skin, calf split, and then there's these kind of versions for the ones with Apocrypha. And then it's printed in Belarus, right? And then again, kind of similar stuff. This is just more explanation over here from the for the ESV and such. It's kind of hard to read because I'm trying to keep this thing straight and stable. So I apologize for that. But let's get inside the Bible. Let's check it out. So again, hardback. So it's got a paste down liner, obviously. So obviously no leather because it's not leather. leather. But this is not, I don't think this is a paper paste down here. I think this is vinyl. So this will hold up for a little while. And then more like a vinyl cardstocky end sheet. And then you have just a plain old presentation page. I've never really owned a Cambridge Bible before, so I'm not super familiar with what they do with their Bibles, but here's that. And then you got blank page, and then the Holy Bible English Standard Version, and then the title page with Cambridge University Press, because this is a university. Cambridge is a university over in the United Kingdom. So here is the publisher's page, as you can see there. Just putting that in the middle. Now, if you're wondering about the font of this Bible, this is a really weird thing, in my opinion. But let me try to get this up close so you can kind of see it here. So it's typeset at 8.2 on an 8.5 lexicon number 1. So that's the type of font this is, lexicon number 1A. So basically it is an 8.2, but I would assume that when it says on an 8.5 lexicon number 1A type font, that it reads kind of like an 8.5, which is about 0.25 off from a 9. So it is a small font, and as you'll see, it's also double column, so I'll show you that in a second. But here's the table of contents here. So you have the books of the Bible in alphabetical order, so there they are right there. So there's the Old Testament. Preface to the ESV, list of the Old and New Testament rulers, so that's pretty cool, because remember, this is a crown, so it's got a big focus, I guess, on rulers and Christ being the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And then also, you have the tables of weights and measures. So all this stuff is actually in the front. Sometimes the tables of weights and measures are in the back of the Bible. So that's interesting. So you can kind of go, there's like, oh, look, there's the tables of weights and measures. So I can look at this prior to reading the Bible, but you might not remember them when you read the Bible anyway. So there you go. So again, here's the list of the Old and New Testament books. So here is Genesis to Malachi for the Old Testament. And then obviously over here, if I can get that in focus, Matthew to Revelation. And then they do also have a concordance and map index and maps. It says 1. I don't know what that means exactly. But here's the preface. So here you can kind of see the font. This is a double column font. You can kind of see their information about the Bible, translation legacy, translation philosophy, principles and style, specialized terms, and yada, yada, yada. And the textual footnotes and all this stuff. And then here's the explanation for the features, like the section headings, cross-referencing system, and such. And yeah. And then again, more explanation of the features, like the textual footnotes. And then here's the chronology of the rulers during the biblical times. So you can kind of just see like, oh, this is in Judah. This is when these kings ruled, and then here's Israel. And so they're kind of divided up here. So you have Judah and Israel, because at one time Judah and Israel were separate kingdoms. So you also have rulers during the time of the New Testament. So you have the Roman emperors, so you can see all of them there. Rulers of the Herodian territory. So you have Kingdom of Judah, which was Herod the Great, and then his son Herod Archelaus, and then you have Antipas, and then Philip, Herod's brother. Then you have governors right here, and so on and so forth. Over here you have procurators, and then you also have the tables of weights and measures, which will give you the approximate American and metric values, and also the biblical ones. But here's the biblical units of what they're called. So there's that. And now we're going to get into the Old Testament here. So right away you can kind of see that this is a double column text, but it's a center column reference edition. So you have your references here in the middle, but then over here off to the side, it's really tiny, but you also have some translator notes. And let me see if I can show you those real quick. So there's the translator notes. So they're super tiny. This text is kind of tiny, but it's still readable, especially if you have good eyes. But if you're somebody who needs a bigger font, you like the ESV, definitely check out some of Crossway's more large print offerings as well. So there's that. And what's nice about this is, from my my looking, this is also line match, so that's good. That needs to be line match because line matching is, in my opinion, a necessity nowadays for Bibles, but not everybody does it at certain price ranges. So here's an example also of some poetry here in Job. And so you can see like large walls of text, like if I went back to something more prosy like here in Deuteronomy, you won't really have much bleed through. You'll have it, but it will be covered up by all this text. And then you'll see kind of in the, kind of right here, you'll see that it's kind of like, you know, it's like there's a lot of space, but you're not reading there. So let's go to the New Testament here. So we're going to go to the New Testament real quick. And as you saw on the back of the dust jacket, this is a black letter text. So there is no red letters. This should be red because Jesus is talking here. And if I go to somewhere like Matthew chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7, Jesus should also be talking here as well. So there's where Jesus is talking. So black letters. So again, if you're not a fan of black, if you're not a fan of red letters, there you go. All right, so let's go to the back of the Bible. So past 2 Peter. And here we have the ESV Concordance. And this thing is tiny. All right, so let me go here. So you do have explanation, but look how tiny this text is. Can you barely read that? It's super tiny even for me. This is not an 8-point font. This is not 8.2. This is like probably like 6 or 7 or 5. I don't know. Let me try to straighten that out for you. So there's that. And then there's some of the abbreviations for the books, like so. And then here's the concordance itself. So the concordance is super tiny, right? And then they got these giant margins, it looks like. But it's just kind of like more like that. They have this giant white space, and then they just copy this whole thing here, but then they have these giant margins. I don't know. And this is a to Z concordance, as most are, so A to Z. And then there's a sticky bit there. Sorry, there's a little bit of something there. So this is the Cambridge Bible Map. So this is the Bible Map Index. So here we go. So you have Map 1, which is Ancient Near East and Late Bronze Age, region of Palestine and surrounding areas, Sinai, and Canaan, Israel within Canaan, United Monarchy of David and Solomon, Israel and Judah, divided monarchy, the Assyrian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, Persian Empire, the Hellenistic world after Alexander, Jerusalem, Old Testament times, Jerusalem, New Testament times, Palestine, New Testament times, Roman Empire, Eastern Mediterranean in the 1st century AD, and so on. And then you also have the map index, so you can kind of see like, they'll give you, I guess, like these numbers here. And this paperback here has a really interesting texture. I haven't really like talked about paper, but this kind of has like a little bit of a grip to it, which is actually nice. I like that. And then it has like this explanation up here of what these places are. So black right here means settlement. Red means politic or political. So it's a political location. Green means physical land. So mountains, deserts, and rivers and such. Not rivers, but mountains and that kind of stuff. Blue means physical water like rivers and sea. Purple means travel or roads. And then orange means Jerusalem, urban areas, buildings, etc. And just getting a whiff. This is weird. So you're going to see my head a little bit high. I don't know why, but book paper smells so good. Now, if you care about the GSM, I can't off the top of my head tell you what it is, but this is pretty solid book paper. So kudos to Cambridge. They know what they're doing. So again, here's the maps. Really, like these are like the classic style maps. Like a lot of like oranges, orange colors, greens, purples, and stuff. It's just, and it has like the like it looks like land and stuff. Super nice. I love it. So again, ancient Near East, late bronze, Palestine, surrounding areas, United Monarchy of David and Solomon. Israel and Judah, Assyrian Empire, Babylonian Empire, and you have Persian Kingdom, Persian Empire, the Hellenistic world, which Hellenistic, if you're not familiar with that term, just means Greek, That's after Alexander. And then Jerusalem in Old Testament times, Jerusalem in New Testament times, and kind of get an idea of what these places look like. So Palestine in New Testament times, and then you have Roman Empire over here, and then Eastern Mediterranean during the first century, and these also contain Paul's missionary journeys. So, all that to say, and then obviously just a little literally nothing back here. So all that to say, what is my verdict on this Bible? I think this is a really fantastic hardback. I really do. I love the blue. The blue is fantastic. I'm more of a black guy. I like black, but blue is, I think, next, at least next in my preference. If I remember correctly, I bought this Bible from Amazon for about $25, $26. So definitely check out Amazon. There will be a link in the description below for you to hopefully find one. You can buy them off of Cambridge's website. I don't remember how much Cambridge is selling them themselves, but definitely check them out. So I would recommend, if I'm going to give a recommendation, I would recommend this Bible to anyone who loves the ESV and loves their pit minion, but wants something a little bigger and doesn't care about the leather, right? Like, again, this is Bibles on a budget, so these are Bibles that are affordable and yet still great, right? You know, you don't care about the gilding because, you know, if you're used to hardbacks, there you go. You're fine with this little ribbon here. I think this is double-sided satin. So, yeah. And you're not bothered by the slightly small font. You know, again, it's 8.2 on an 8.5. So that's a little confusing to me. And also, if you're a fan of the ESV and you like Cambridge, if you like Cambridge Bibles, you know, definitely check this one out. Definitely check this one out. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video by Bibles on a Budget. And remember, folks, the truth does not have to be expensive. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. God bless.